secret, we're living in a very unique time in history right now. Many people staying home 24/7 during this COVID-19 thing. Little to no contact with others is a very stressful time. And in today's CI Health, Steadfast Center shares some ways to manage that stress. And joining us via Skype, Heather Pierce, owner and trauma therapist. And Heather, thanks for being willing to socially distance and do this via Skype. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Tim. In our language, we call this modeling,
yes.
social distancing. Yes.
It's perfect. Let's talk first about what you guys do if everything were normal, if we weren't dealing with coronavirus right now, if we weren't going through all this. What is it that your center does on a daily basis for patients?
We're based in Champaign, and we have 5 full-time trauma therapists who work primarily with adults who have histories of trauma, usually relational trauma, abuse, neglect in childhood or more recently in adulthood. So we do typically long-term therapy, working on 2 levels with people who are experiencing current symptoms, usually of PTSD, anxiety or depression, but also really trying to explore with our clients the root causes of their trauma in the hope that it will create lasting change for them as they work at the root of their struggles and then also manage symptoms as a result of that.
I know we're really at the front end of this whole process with COVID-19, but what have you seen that might be similar to some of the anxieties and stresses that you normally deal with that are popping up now because of what's going on in our country and in our world?
Yeah, when I think about trauma and I think about crisis situations, I think about it in layers. So clients with a history of trauma, people with a history of trauma, have already an existing layer of traumatic stress that they deal with, fear, anxiety, even under normal conditions. And under the conditions we're experiencing right now, people who already find the world to be an unsafe place at times are realizing that it is actually unsafe and we have to protect ourselves in ways that are very anxiety provoking. And in our work, we value relationships as a model for healing and connection. And right now, the very support systems that we typically rely on to be able to help people manage anxiety, stress, and depression are no longer available to us in the same ways.
All of this is probably feeding some of those fears, right, in people who naturally have that inclination. So I have heard, for example, if someone's terrified of snakes, some would say the surefire way to cure them of that is to put them around snakes, right, to get them comfortable with it, to tell them they are safe. Is that true with people and interaction and human connection as well?
Well, so that's what we call exposure therapy, and sometimes it can work, but a lot of times what is a baseline for people is to feel safe. So the conditions have to be in place to feel safe. And right now, for some people, that's their home environment, relationships that are familiar, the people that they can stay close to. And for others, home environment is a place that's not safe for them. And so they're managing another layer of stress. So we're all sort of exposed right now to the risks and the things that are frightening to us right now in terms of the threats to our health. The challenge for people is to be able to identify things that are actually dangerous that they need to protect themselves from, and things that are just really vulnerable that they need to be cautious about. When you're experiencing trauma, especially past and present, you tend to see everything as a danger, everything as a threat. And right now, it's difficult to separate what is really dangerous for us and what are reasonable things that we can do to keep ourselves safe and connected to others without being so hypervigilant that we are no longer able to function with a normal level of emotional regulation.
Now, the good news is that you guys are still open and functioning, but typically through Skype conversations and video conversations like this, right? If someone is experiencing some issues, think they need someone to talk to, how do they get a hold of you?
So what they can do is they can call, go to our website, steadfastcenter.com. We have a dedicated intake person who responds to all phone and email inquiries. We are available right now to do HIPAA-compliant telehealth, which is either video or phone conversations. And we can do that for clients really effectively. It's a different type of connection than we're normally used to, but we've been able to adapt over the next couple of weeks to serve all the needs that have come our way. So we are set up to be able to help people, even though it's different than we would prefer.
Absolutely. Well, it's different than all of us would prefer, but thank you for your time today, and certainly appreciate it, Heather, and best of luck as we all navigate this course together.
Thank you so much, Tim. I hope you're doing well.
Oh, we are. And if you want more details about Steadfast Center, here's a look at their website, and we will connect you with all the details on our website as well, which is ciliving.tv.